Hey guys, Olu here. Today I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna destroy Windows Vista. Now I recently did one for Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, and Windows ME. I'll also in tomorrow I'll do Windows 8.1, and on Thursday I'll do one for Windows 10. So please stay tuned for those videos. I was thinking about starting with something really simple, such as installing Windows Vista. Windows Vista was released to manufacturing on November 8th, 2006, which was a Wednesday, and it became generally available on January 30th, 2007, which was a Tuesday. Yeah. Vista was hated by a lot of people. The minimum requirements for Windows Vista were relatively so high at the time, even higher than the system minimum requirements to run Windows XP. Yeah, the, another issue regarding Windows Vista, though, is Windows Vista's new user account control system. User account control, or UAC for short, is a program that helps unauthorized changes to your computer. Yeah, there was an option to turn off UAC in user in user settings, but that was not recommended by Microsoft or security professionals, and I personally don't recommend it either. Well, that issue was never resolved in Vista. Microsoft instead went out of its way to make sure that users didn't receive UAC prompts as much in Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and Windows 10 as they did in Windows Vista. Yeah, if you want to, let's say, make changes to your computer, yeah, user account control will prompt you to give it administrator rights on Windows Vista. Instead of it just automatically getting administrator rights when you're logged into an administrator account, like on Windows XP. Yeah. When people continued to receive UAC prompts, people stopped reading the prompt entirely. They would simply just click continue in order for the prompt to go away. At first, when Windows Vista was released, it, it had blue screen of death. Well, that wasn't new to Windows Line. Windows XP also had similar problems when it was first released. Windows Vista was kind of a bug-filled operating system. It was a fairly unpopular operating system. In 2008, my family got a Dell Inspiron 518 that came with Windows Vista Home Basic 32-bit Service Pack 1. And many PCs sold back in 2006 were sold as being Windows Vista capable. The hardware says that Windows Vista capable met the full requirements to run Windows Vista. People thought that Windows Vista when you received a PC that it said Windows Vista capable, that it could run the most basic version of Windows Vista, such as Windows Vista Home Basic, which excluded some of the things like the Windows Aero, Windows Media Center, some Windows games, etc. If you wanted to run Windows Vista Home Basic, you needed at least an 800 megahertz or faster processor, and you need at least 512 megabytes of RAM. If you want to run Windows Vista Home Premium, Windows Vista Business, Windows Vista Ultimate, or Windows Vista Enterprise, you need at least 1 gigahertz or faster processor. You need at least 1 gigabyte of RAM. Let's say if you want to run Windows Vista on the 2001, 2002 computer, you wanted it. It obviously wouldn't run well on the 2001 computer. Yeah, Microsoft thought that performance may be an issue for some users, which is why Microsoft released Windows Vista Home Basic. People thought that Windows Vista capable PCs meant that they could only run the full versions of Windows Vista and not just a stripped down Windows Vista Home Basic. PCs made in 2007 and after met the full system requirements to run Windows Vista. I have a PC, I have a laptop from 2005 that it says Windows Vista capable. Yeah, Windows Vista Service Pack 1 was released in 2008. That almost fixed all the problems that Windows Vista RTM was that had. Windows 7, which was released in 2009, is basically just Windows Vista with all the problems fixed. Support for Windows mainstream support for Windows Vista ended on April 10th, 2012, which was a Tuesday. That was almost 8 years ago. When extended support for Windows Vista ended on April 11th, 2017, which was also a Tuesday. Can't you believe that it was almost 3 years ago that Windows Vista support ended? The Dell Inspiron 518 desktop that we had it came with the original operating system that it was released when that it came out was Windows Vista Service Pack 1. So we I remember when I was 3 years old, I would go downstairs and to see the new computer for the first time. It was already up and running. When I came down and saw the computer, and when my mom was using the computer, I would sit on the floor and watch her. Yeah, and I remember making multiple user accounts and deleting them a lot. And I had to in back in 2009 in 2009 I had to guess what my dad's password was to sign into his account on the Windows Vista PC. Yeah, I remember back in 2010 I was asking for Windows 7 and I got it in 2011. The Dell Inspiron 518 desktop, the original power button died near the end of 2011. So we got a new power button for the Dell Inspiron 518, and in the beginning of the year 2012, it was upgraded to Windows 7 on Premium 32-bit Service Pack 1. Yeah, on the Inspiron, it it was slow on it was slow on Vista. I remember that the optical drive didn't work a lot on Vista. At the beginning it did, but it stopped working like 2 years later, I should say. When the computer went to sleep, the power button would just blink blue, and it, later it would just say stay solid orange. Yeah, this prawn that my family had, it came with 2 gigabytes of RAM, 2 gigabytes of DDR2 memory, and in 2010, it I I deleted all the user accounts except for my dad's on the Inspiron with Windows Vista. All right, now we're in Windows Vista. Yeah, in my cousin in Illinois PC, it came with Windows Vista Home Premium, 64-bit with no service packs. And I remember back in like back in 2009, they my cousins got a PC that got an HP Pavilion PC A6000 series with Windows Vista Home Premium. Yeah, and my other cousins got a piece in a similar HP Pavilion PC, but it had an AMD processor, so it came with 32 Windows Vista Home Premium 32-bit without a service pack. Yeah, that was in 2009 when my other cousins got the HP Pavilion PC also, the similar one, in the same year. And matter of fact, I was only like I was 4 years old at the time. Ever since I was a little boy, I've been into computers. Yeah, when Windows Vista was released, it was criticized for being buggy. It wasn't supporting as many machines as I said it would. Yeah, people even had the option to downgrade from Windows Vista to XP. People decided to stay with Windows XP until Microsoft released Windows 7 in 2009. Yeah, Windows Vista Service Pack 2 was released in May of 2009. Yeah, Windows Vista just turned 13 years old on January 30th, 2020, which was a Thursday. Windows Vista will turn 14 next year. That's right, 14 on January 30th, 2021, which will be a Saturday. Yeah, and in on April 11th, 2017, Windows Vista support ended, so I had to upgrade a per a friend of mine when I would lived in New Jersey. I had to help him upgrade the PC to Windows 10. So I had to help him upgrade so he can keep, receiving security updates. So that can't you believe it? Hard to believe that it was almost 3 years ago that I upgraded his PC from Windows Vista to 7 to 10. Yeah. I remember near the end of 2008, I saw a family member of mine, a friend of my of my parents, that I saw his PC with Windows Vista. It was an HP Pavilion, like I forget the model number. I think well let's just say I think it was DV6000 or DV9000. Let's just say DV6000. Yeah. Now that we're in the Windows Vista desktop, let's try destroying it. Support for Windows Vista without a Service Pack ended on July 13th, 2010, which was a Tuesday, the same date that Microsoft ended support for Windows XP Service Pack 2 and for Windows 2000. Support for Windows Vista Service Pack 1 ended on July 12th, 2011, which was also a Tuesday. Yeah, Windows XP Service Pack 3 was released in the same year as Windows Vista Service Pack 1. Windows XP was released on April 21st, 2008, which was a Monday. And Windows Vista Service Pack 1 was released on February 4th, 2008, which was also a Monday. Yeah, Microsoft also postponed the date sales that for Windows XP would end from the 30th day of January 2008 to the 30th day of June 2008. That was a day after I turned 3. Yeah. Microsoft postponed the dates for the sale that Windows XP from January 30th, 2008 to a day after I turned 3. Yeah, therefore a lot of people stuck with Windows XP because your computer wasn't powerful enough for Windows Vista because or any other operating system or Windows 7 or 8.1 or 10 because it had like 128 megabytes of RAM which didn't meet the minimum requirements. So now the virtual machine is now destroyed, so let's restart the computer and we'll say Windows failed to start. Now I recommend that you don't try this at home unless you have a virtual machine or computer that you don't use, as I claim no responsibility for any lost, damaged, or corrupted data. So please, unless you have a virtual machine or computer that you don't use, do not try this at home. You get me? Like, comment down below if you understand what I'm saying about destroying Windows operating systems or any other operating systems. So now let's reinstall Windows Vista Home Premium. Windows Vista's usage share is lower than every version of Windows released since then, and it is also lower than the Windows XP's usage share. It's also lower than the last few versions of Mac OS, and is also lower than the usage of Linux. And no one can deny that 2007 was an overall fantastic year for technology. The original iPhone was released, Facebook was starting to boom, the Nintendo Switch was flying off the shelves, Google Street View became a thing, Netflix started its online streaming service, and HD TVs were finally starting to become affordable, among other things. A lot of people that didn't really like is that the new Windows Vista, the operating system that was supposed to replace the 5 and a quarter-year-old Windows XP. Yeah, if you want to upgrade from Windows XP to Windows Vista, you need at least Windows XP Service Pack 2 or newer. By default, Windows Vista came with Internet Explorer 7, but it can be updated to Internet Explorer. It can go all the way up to Internet Explorer 9, which was released on March 14th, 2011, which was a Monday. Internet Explorer 7 was released on October 18th, 2006, which was a Wednesday. The second Internet Explorer that Windows Vista supported was Internet Explorer 8, which was released on March 19th, 2009, which was a Thursday. Yeah, believe it or not, I actually liked Windows Vista. In my opinion, Windows Vista wasn't as bad as people thought it was. The arrow the arrow interface was actually supposed to speed up the user's performance, speed up the user's graphics card instead of the user's CPU like it did on Windows XP. Windows Vista's interface looked better than all the previous versions of Windows, and Microsoft did a pretty good job of that in my opinion. Yeah, yeah. So in 2013, the Dell Inspiron 518 was connected my to one of the TVs in New York in when I used to live in New York. Yeah, when we were using that Dell Inspiron 518 until 2014, when we decided to use the Dell Optiplex GX280 instead. We got the Dell Optiplex GX280 at in the begin in early 2012 when my sister and I were really little. Yeah, desktop works very similar to the Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and Windows 10 desktops. Yeah, I'll put a link down below in the description too, so you can watch my videos about what destroying slash reinstalling Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 95, Windows 98, Windows 2000, and Windows ME. I'll put those links down below in the description so you can know what I talked about in those videos. Yeah, ever since I was 3 years old, I loved surfing the web. Yeah, when I was 3, I would go on the computer all day. Yeah. And in this virtual machine for this video, this is Windows Vista Home Premium 32-bit Service Pack 1. Now Windows Vista is finally finished installing. It's just going to restart and it will go through this. I'll go through the setup process. Now we're back in Windows Vista. When you go online, when you go to computer and you see properties, it will automatically, you will get a 1.0 until the driver is installed. In Windows 7, when you log into the computer, if you install Windows 7 and you go to computer properties, and you'll see that the system rating is not available because the Windows Experience Index has not yet been established. So just go and start, right click on computer and go to properties, Windows Vista Home Premium, Service Pack 1, rating 1.0, Windows Experience Index, memory 1 gigabyte of RAM, system type 32-bit operating system. The desktop graphics gets a 1.0 and gaming graphics gets the same thing. Primary hard disk gets the highest score. Windows Vista, the maximum score is 5.9. Windows 7, the maximum score is 7.9. Processor 4.6. Memory 4.5. Anyways, that was my video of me destroying slash reinstalling Windows Vista. If you like this video, please give it a like. And as always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. And I'll see you guys in the next videos. Goodbye.